started with a key. Not a metaphorical one, an actual key. It was late. I had just gotten off work, dead tired from a 12-hour shift at the plant. My name's Jake Mitchell, and I used to believe in loyalty, in marriage, in forever. That was before I found it. I wasn't snooping, I swear on my life. I was looking for chapstick in the center console of Megan's SUV. My wife of 7 years. She'd taken my car again, left hers behind, so I figured she wouldn't mind me grabbing it quick. The key was tucked in an old Altoids tin. Motel 6. Room 214. The tag had one of those plastic teardrop fobs, the kind that reeked of cheap smokes and cheaper regrets. My heart hit the brakes. I stared at it, hoping there was some stupid, rational explanation. Like maybe she picked it up off the street or it was from an old trip. But something in my gut twisted. Deep, ugly, hot. That primal feeling that tells you something's off. I should have left it alone. Should have gone inside, cracked a beer, and watched the game like a normal husband. But I couldn't. I had to know. I grabbed my phone and opened her location. Yeah, we share it. Trust, right? Except she'd turned it off 2 days ago. Said her phone kept dying and she was on her period and not in the mood for people. That's when the dam cracked. The lies started echoing. Her sudden late meetings at work. The new underwear I hadn't seen on her. Ever. The shaved legs when she was supposedly sick. Her odd attitude lately, short, distant, like I was background noise in her life. And now this damn key. So I did what any man with half a brain and a whole lot of gut instinct would do. I drove. It was 9:27 p.m. when I pulled into that sad little lot off the highway. The neon Motel 6 sign flickered like it had a cough. Room 214 was on the second floor. The curtains were drawn, a faint blue light glowing behind them. Her car wasn't there, but I knew Megan was. And I knew she wasn't alone. I could have walked away. Should have. But I was already halfway up the stairs before I even realized I'd made the decision. I paused at the door. Laughter. A man's voice. And then something else. The unmistakable rhythm of movement. Heavy breathing. God, I wish I didn't hear it. My whole world flipped inside out in that moment. Everything we'd built. Our house, our vows, the life I broke my back to provide. It all crumbled into dust. All because of what she was doing behind that door. I knocked. Hard. Silence. Then scrambling. Then a voice I will never forget. *T. It's him. She knew. She knew I'd come. She opened the door a crack, covering herself with a towel. Wet hair slicked back. Mascara smudged like war paint. Jake! What the hell are you doing here? She had the audacity to act like I was the crazy one. Like I just interrupted her bubble bath instead of her doing God knows what with some stranger in our marriage bed's motel downgrade. Give me one good reason not to break this door down, I said, jaw clenched, voice like steel about to snap. Don't be dramatic. She rolled her eyes. It's not what it looks like. Then came the man behind her, Bryce, tall, smug, shirtless, sipping a damn soda like it was just another Tuesday night. Bryce, her coworker. The same guy she said was so annoying and totally gay. Not gay. Not annoying. Definitely not wearing pants. You lying piece of garbage? I whispered, the rage choking me like smoke. 7 years, Megan. 7 years. She smirked. I swear on everything. She smirked. Don't be so sensitive, Jake. It was just a little fun. Fun? My hands shook. I had to force them into my pockets. Not because I'd hit her, I'd never, but because I didn't trust what I'd do to the wall. Go home, she said coldly, like I was the intruder. We'll talk tomorrow. You're making a scene. And with that, she slammed the door in my face. Just like that. Like I was nothing. Like our whole damn marriage meant nothing. I stood there for a few minutes. Long enough to hear them laughing again behind the door. Long enough to realize I wasn't crying. I was boiling. This wasn't over. No, this was just the beginning. I drove home with my fists clenched on the steering wheel. Knuckles white, heart beating like a war drum. The lights of the highway blurred past. But I couldn't see anything except that smirk on Megan's face. That smug, soulless look that said she didn't give a damn about me. About our marriage. About the 7 damn years we shared. And Bryce, lounging behind her like some kind of winner, like he just claimed a prize. When I pulled into our driveway, the house looked different. Cold. Dead. I sat there for a while. Engine off. The silence so loud it hurt. My phone buzzed. A text from Megan. Don't do anything stupid. We'll talk tomorrow. That was her message. Like I just caught her eating the last slice of pizza. Not screwing a coworker in a motel room like a filthy liar. I didn't reply. Instead, I walked inside, took a long breath, and sat on the edge of the bed we used to share. The bed she'd stopped touching me in. The bed she claimed she was too tired for. The one she rejected me in night after night, while she was out doing that with Bryce. The room still smelled like her perfume. That sweet vanilla scent I used to love. Now it made me sick. I started noticing all the little signs. Her nightstand drawer had a receipt from Victoria's Secret, stuff she never wore around me. Her phone charger was still plugged in, even though she always took it. She never intended to come back tonight. She had it all planned. I barely slept. My mind went through 1,000 thoughts a second. But one thing was clear. If she thought I was going to sit back and be her backup husband while she played motel bingo with her coworkers, she was dead wrong. This wasn't just about cheating. This was war. Morning came, but I didn't go to work. I sat in the kitchen drinking black coffee and staring out the window. 8:17 a.m. She walked through the door like she hadn't just ripped my heart out the night before. Hair in a bun, sunglasses on, that same little fake smirk she wore when she lied. "Oh good, you're up," she said, tossing her keys on the counter. I didn't answer, just stared. She sighed. "Look, Jake, last night wasn't ideal, but let's be adults about this. Who is he to you?" I asked, voice cold. "Bryce." "How long?" She paused, then shrugged. "A couple months. It's not serious." "You were at a motel." "So?" she snapped. "People do things, Jake. Maybe if you'd paid more attention to me." My hand slammed the table so hard my mug shattered. She jumped. "Don't you dare put this on me. I worked myself to the bone for you. For us. Paid the bills, fixed the car, kissed your forehead every morning. And you sneak off with some office clown like I'm just a boring bookmark in your drama-filled life." She crossed her arms. "Maybe I wanted someone who didn't act like my dad." I laughed. Couldn't help it. A dry, dead laugh. "Right? So now I'm too responsible? Too steady?" She didn't answer. I leaned forward. "You disgust me." "Then leave," she said without blinking. There it was. No apology. No shame. No guilt. She was done pretending. She wasn't trying to save this. She just didn't want to be the villain. Tough luck. She was. "You want me gone?" I stood up. "Fine. But I'm taking this whole damn story with me." She narrowed her eyes. "What do you mean?" "You'll see." I left the house with one thing in mind. Revenge. I wasn't going to scream or cry or beg. I was going to burn down everything she built on lies, and I was going to do it with a smile. I contacted a lawyer that same day. Sent him everything. Pictures of the motel key, the text messages I'd pulled from her backup cloud, even some spicy shots she'd stupidly taken on her iPad and forgotten to delete. Then I called her parents. Her boss. Her best friend, Courtney. The one who always said I was too good for Megan. I didn't care about looking bitter. I wasn't hiding in shame. She wanted to cheat? Fine. I'd expose it. By dinner, half the people in our lives knew. And Megan? She called me in a rage. "You told my mother?" "You told Bryce you were single," I said. "So now you can be." She hung up. Good. I wasn't just going to walk away. I was going to make sure she never forgot what it cost to lie to a good man. And that was just day 1.2 days passed. And the fallout started to settle like dust after a wreck. Megan didn't come home, and I didn't chase her. There was nothing to salvage. I spent my time gathering everything. Bank records, messages, bills, even that dusty photo album she used to show off to friends like we were the perfect couple. I boxed it all up, not because I wanted to remember, but because I wanted to never forget what betrayal looked like. She tried to play smart, sending her sister to talk to me. Jessica, the fake peacemaker, acting like I was overreacting. She sat across from me on the couch like she was doing me a favor. Megan's a mess, Jake. She didn't mean for it to go that far. I raised an eyebrow. Didn't mean for what? The lying? The motel? The 4-month-long side relationship while I was busting my ass so she could buy overpriced candles and wine. Jessica blinked, caught off guard by how calm I was. They expected me to be destroyed. No, I was something else now, cold, focused. She was lonely, Jessica tried. I chuckled. She was horny, not lonely. Don't sugarcoat it. Jessica turned red. She left without saying much more. Good. She was part of Megan's circle, the ones who knew more than they let on. I could feel it. Megan's betrayal didn't happen in a vacuum. People saw it, felt it, smelled it, and stayed quiet. That night, Megan finally texted again. We need to talk. Please. I didn't reply. I was done playing her little sympathy game. She didn't want to talk when she was moaning some other man's name. Now she wanted a conversation. Instead, I gave her what she didn't expect. Papers. Served to her at her office, nice and public. Divorce. Irreconcilable differences. Supported by evidence of infidelity. The reaction hit fast. My phone lit up with angry calls. Are you seriously doing this at my job? What the hell is wrong with you? You're ruining everything. That last one made me laugh. I'm ruining everything? She was out here spreading her legs like Charity, and suddenly I'm the bad guy for airing the laundry she so proudly dirted? I didn't answer any of her calls. I started clearing out the house. Every photo with her? Gone. Every little souvenir from our trips? In a trash bag. Wedding album? Torched in a backyard fire pit. Felt like shedding a second skin, painful but necessary. Then came the next bombshell. Bryce's wife messaged me. The guy she cheated with was married too. Her name was Angela, and boy, she had receipts. Screenshots, emails, hotel invoices, photos, the full disgusting picture. She'd known for 2 weeks but was looking for the right moment. I gave her one. We talked for hours that night. Me and Angela. 2 strangers, bound by the same knife. She cried. I didn't. My tears dried up in that motel parking lot. What came next wasn't sadness. It was clarity. Angela and I agreed. If our spouses wanted to build a new life together, we'd make sure it came with a hefty price. I forwarded all of Angela's evidence to my lawyer. Everything, including the messages where Bryce told Megan he wished she'd get pregnant so she could finally leave the loser. That one hit hard. I remembered how Megan told me she wasn't ready for kids, how she wasn't in the right place. Lies. All of it. She wasn't scared of motherhood. She just didn't want my children. I found myself staring at the bedroom wall for a long time that night, hands behind my head, mind full of moments that suddenly didn't mean what I thought they did. The time she said she was working late and came home without a bra. The girls' trip, where she came back with a tan line I didn't leave. The perfume in her purse I never smelled on her. It was all there. Always had been. I just refused to see it. She texted again the next day. Can we at least talk in person? No apology. No guilt. Just talk. I agreed. Not because I wanted closure, but because I wanted to look her in the eyes when I made it clear. The man she used to know was gone. And I wasn't coming back. We met at a little cafe downtown. Public, neutral, full of people, just how I wanted it. Let her try to cry her way out of it with an audience. I showed up 10 minutes early, sat by the window and waited. When Megan walked in, she looked like hell. Not the glamorous, smug version I found at the motel. This was the stripped-down, makeup-smeared, panicked version. She sat down across from me slowly, eyes darting around like she didn't know whether to beg or attack. You look like you've seen a ghost, I said, sipping my coffee. She leaned forward. Jake, what are you doing? I didn't think you'd go this far. I raised an eyebrow. You mean filing for divorce? Or exposing your little motel escapades to half the city? Her jaw clenched. You humiliated me. No, you did that, I said. I just made sure no one missed the show. Her voice dropped, sharp and cold. You're being cruel. I laughed. You lied to me for months. Cheated on me in cheap motels. Smiled in my face like I was a damn fool. And I'm cruel? She shifted in her seat, trying to find some fake moral high ground to stand on. I didn't plan for this to happen, Jake. Bryce was just different. He listened. He made me feel wanted. Yeah, I said. I saw the messages. Real romantic stuff. I want you so bad I can't think straight. You're so much hotter than my wife. She blinked. You read everything? I nodded. Every single word. Her face twisted like she was about to cry, but the tears never came. Probably dried up with whatever conscience she had left. You're acting like I'm the only one who made mistakes. She tried again. Oh? Enlighten me. What did I do? Pay the bills? Cook dinner while you were out getting your back blown out by office boy? Let you walk around with that smug look like you were better than me? Her face turned red. This isn't helping. No, I said. But it's honest. And that's more than I can say for anything you've done in the last year. She sat back, eyes glassy. I didn't want to lose you. Too late. A long silence stretched between us. The air was heavy. She looked like she wanted to say something, anything that might flip the script, but I wasn't playing her game anymore. You need to accept it, I said, voice low. We're done. And you're not getting a damn thing without a fight. Her mask cracked just a bit. What do you want from me? Nothing, I said, finishing my coffee. Absolutely nothing. I want you to wake up every day and know you threw away a good man for motel thrills and a loser in khakis. That's your forever now. She tried to reach across the table, but I pulled my hand away before she even got close. Jake, I was confused. No, you were selfish. She swallowed. You think you're the victim here. I am the victim. You don't get to rewrite that. I stood up. Oh, and tell Bryce's wife she says hi. Angela and I had a great little chat. Real enlightening. Her face turned white. That hit. She didn't expect the side piece's life to be crumbling too. I walked out without looking back. That night, I blocked her number. She didn't get to creep back in. Not through pity. Not through guilt. Not through whatever fake sadness she conjured up next. I went home, poured myself a drink, and sat on the back porch in the dark, listening to the wind blow through the trees. I felt like I'd finally stepped out of a fog. I wasn't angry anymore, not like before. What I felt now was something deeper, stronger, clarity. This wasn't just a divorce. It was the beginning of my freedom. The weeks that followed were a strange mix of chaos and clarity. Megan kept trying to reach out. Texts, emails, even voicemails where her voice cracked like she'd been crying for days. Though knowing her, it was probably rehearsed. I never replied. I had said everything that needed to be said at that cafe, and I wasn't about to give her another stage to perform on. I was focused now. Every day, I went through the motions: work, gym, meetings with my lawyer, cleaning up the financial mess she left behind. You'd be surprised how much a lying spouse can cost you. Joint accounts drained, weird Amazon charges from hotels I'd never been to, and apparently, she'd maxed out one of our cards at some business conference. That was actually a weekend in Miami with Bryce. The audacity was almost impressive. My lawyer, Kendra, was a beast. Sharp, ruthless, and not interested in hearing any "let's settle amicably" talk. I showed her the texts between Megan and Bryce, the photos, the hotel receipts. Kendra took one look at the pile and said, "Oh, we're going to bury her." And we did. I froze the joint accounts, closed all the cards, locked her out of everything except her own mess. Megan's furious voicemails turned from begging to threats. "You can't do this to me, Jake. You're ruining my life." I didn't even flinch. She ruined hers. I just handed her the mirror. One day, Bryce had the nerve to show up at my job. No warning, no call. Just walked in like he had something important to say. I met him outside the building in the parking lot. He looked smug. Not even guilty. Just smug. Like he'd gotten one over on me and wanted to flaunt it. "You've made this whole thing a bigger deal than it needs to be," he said, hands in his pockets. "Megan, and I didn't mean for it to hurt you." I stared at him for a beat. Then I smiled. "You know what the difference is between you and me, Bryce? I don't need to sneak around behind someone's back to feel like a man." His eyes flickered. "And for the record, I added, stepping closer. You didn't steal my wife. I threw her out like the trash she turned into. You just happened to be crawling nearby. He flinched at that. You think this makes you look strong? No, I said. But it makes me honest. Something you and Megan clearly aren't familiar with. He didn't say much after that. Just gave me a stiff nod and walked away like he was doing me a favor by leaving. 2 days later, I got an email from Megan. You've turned everyone against me. My job's a mess. My parents won't even speak to me. You win, okay? You happy? I stared at the screen, not sure if I should laugh or be angry. Win? This wasn't a game. I didn't want to win. I wanted loyalty, respect, a life we promised to build. But she turned it all into a circus. And now she couldn't handle being the clown everyone was pointing at. I closed the email, let her sit in the mess she created. That Friday, Angela and I met up again. This time for a drink. Not a date, just solidarity. 2 betrayed spouses, talking through the wreckage. I found an old photo of us on vacation last night, she said, sipping wine. I couldn't even look at it. It was like seeing ghosts. Yeah, I nodded. Every photo in our album feels fake now. Like I'm just watching a guy smile while his world is being ripped apart behind his back. She looked at me. You doing okay? I shrugged. Better than I should be. Angela smiled. You know, you didn't deserve any of this. Neither did you. We sat in silence for a bit after that. It wasn't romantic. It wasn't flirty. It was real. And that's all I wanted now, real. No more lies. No more masks. Just truth even when it stings. Because after everything Megan did, after all the betrayal and deceit, the worst part wasn't losing her. It was realizing she never existed in the first place. The court date was set for a Tuesday morning, overcast and cold, like the sky itself was holding its breath. I walked into that courtroom with a folder full of evidence and a head clearer than it had been in months. Megan was already there when I arrived, sitting next to her lawyer. A smug, overpaid guy who looked like he smelled his own cologne too often. She didn't even look at me. That was fine. I wasn't here for eye contact or closure. I was here for war. When the judge entered, everything snapped into focus. Kendra stood tall, confident, and surgical. She laid out the timeline. The affair, the financial deception, the emotional distress. The photos, the texts, the motel receipts with time-stamped entries that lined up perfectly with days Megan claimed she was at her sister's place. Megan didn't deny much. She tried to twist it. Said we had been drifting for a while. Claimed the affair only started after she felt neglected. Said I was emotionally distant. The judge wasn't buying it. Neither was anyone else in the room. By the time we were done, the outcome was clear. I got the house. I got the car. She left with her bags and her shame. And as she walked past me in the hallway, not a single word came out of her mouth. Not sorry. Not bitter. Just silence. It was the loudest moment we'd ever had. That night, I sat on the floor of my living room surrounded by boxes. Photos, letters, wedding souvenirs I hadn't looked at in years. I took each one, stared at it for a second, and dropped it into a trash bag. Every memory, every fake smile, every posed picture meant to sell the illusion, weighed nothing now. Somewhere between the 3rd and 4th bag, I found the note Megan wrote me on our 5th anniversary. You're my everything. I'll never stop choosing you. Funny, she stopped choosing me the minute someone else winked at her. I burned that one in the fire pit out back. Watched the edges curl and darken. The ink disappear like it never mattered. And maybe it didn't. Maybe she was always that kind of person. Maybe I just didn't want to see it. The truth is, the signs were always there. The way she kept her phone face down. How she suddenly got too tired to be intimate but was somehow energized enough to hit the gym every night at 9 p.m. The coldness in her kisses. The distance in her eyes. She was slipping away for a long time. I just refused to believe she'd actually go. But she did. And she did it dirty. After the divorce, mutual friends started picking sides. Some reached out, offering sympathy. Others stayed silent, probably because they knew. Or worse, helped her cover it up. I didn't chase anyone. If they were willing to overlook what she did, they could go with her. I wasn't about to keep broken pieces just because they used to fit. A few weeks later, I bumped into her brother, Chris, at a gas station. He looked uncomfortable, like running into me was the last thing he wanted. "Jake," he said, nodding. "Chris." He shifted awkwardly. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I didn't know she was doing all that." I shrugged. "Doesn't matter now. She's not doing great." I looked him in the eyes. "Not my problem anymore." He nodded again, slower this time. "Yeah, I guess not." We left it at that, and it felt good. No guilt, no bitterness, just a clean cut. Some people think revenge is a big act, explosions, chaos, dramatic finales. But sometimes the best revenge is survival. This walking away while they're still trying to crawl through the mess they made. This waking up without knots in your chest. It's laughing again, sleeping through the night, being able to look in the mirror and see a man who didn't let betrayal break him. It's peace. And that's exactly what I was starting to feel. Not happiness, not yet, but peace. And that was more than she'd ever given me. It wasn't long before Megan tried to spin the story. Word got around, social media posts, whispers from mutual friends, even coworkers hinting at the drama. But Megan, she wasn't just telling people we'd split. She was rewriting the script. According to her, I had grown cold, distant, even emotionally manipulative. She made herself out to be some poor woman trapped in a loveless marriage, just trying to find herself. Yeah, she found herself all right. Legs up in a motel room with her boss. I didn't respond. Not publicly, not privately. I let her dig her grave with every word. The people who knew me, really knew me, stayed close. The rest could believe whatever they wanted. I was done justifying myself for things I never did. But it was Angela who gave me the unexpected gut punch. She called me out of nowhere. "Jake," she said, her voice tight. "I thought you should know." Megan called me. I sat up straight. "What? Why?" She said she wanted to clear the air. Told me you and I had been spending time together. Asked if we were a thing. Said if we were. She deserved to know. I laughed, but it wasn't a happy laugh. It was bitter. Angela sighed. "She's spiraling. I think she thought she'd get away with it, maybe that you'd forgive her eventually. But seeing you move on, even just healing, that probably ruined her little fantasy." "I'm not even with anyone," I said. "I know," Angela said. "But you're better now. Stronger. She can't stand it." That night, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, thinking about all the things I never said to Megan. The truths I swallowed. The fights I avoided. The times I let things slide just to keep the peace. And for what? She'd already declared war behind my back. There was a moment where I wanted to text her. To say something brutal. Something that would shut her down for good. But I didn't. She didn't deserve my words anymore. Not even the angry ones. Instead, I started focusing on rebuilding, really rebuilding. I renovated the guest room into a home office. Tossed the old mattress. Bought a new bed, new sheets. Little things, symbolic things. Like reclaiming the space she poisoned. I even started therapy. At first, it felt awkward. Sitting in a quiet room with someone asking about feelings I didn't want to dig into. But week by week, I opened up. The therapist, a calm older guy named Leonard, didn't rush me. He just listened, asked questions, gave me space to process it all. One session, he said something that stuck. "You didn't lose her," he told me. "You lost the illusion of who she pretended to be. That's not the same." He was right. I didn't miss her. I missed the idea of her, the version I built up in my head. The loyal wife. The best friend. The one who promised forever. But she was never that woman. I just wanted her to be. It's strange how your heart can still ache for a ghost. Then one afternoon, about 6 months after the divorce was finalized, I got an envelope in the mail. No return address. Just my name handwritten. Inside was a photo. Me and Megan, laughing together on a beach in Santa Monica. One of those stupid tourist pictures a stranger had taken for us. On the back, in shaky handwriting, were 4 words. "I never deserved you." I stared at it for a while. Not angry, not sad, just empty. I dropped it in the shredder and walked away. That night, I met up with Angela again. She looked better, lighter, like she was finally breathing again. We didn't talk about Megan or Bryce. We didn't need to. We talked about music, food, road trips, the things that still mattered. There was a moment where our eyes lingered a little longer than usual. A quiet warmth. But nothing happened. Not yet. Maybe not ever. Because this story, my story, wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about reclaiming myself. About standing in the ruins and realizing I wasn't broken. I was rebuilding. Megan's betrayal didn't destroy me. It revealed me. And the man I was becoming? He was finally free. It was a Sunday morning when it finally hit me. I was standing in my kitchen, sunlight pouring through the window, coffee brewing, nothing extraordinary going on, and yet I felt still, calm. No storm inside my chest. No anger boiling beneath the surface. No memories clawing at my sanity. It was the first time in over a year I didn't wake up feeling like I had to survive the day. I just lived it. That's when I knew I was done. Done with her. Done with the pain. Done with trying to understand why someone could betray you so deeply and still look at you like you were the problem. The truth? Megan wasn't complicated. She was selfish. She wanted attention, excitement, validation, and when I no longer played the part of her cheerleader, she found someone else who would. Her boss. Her little thrill. He dumped her, by the way. Found out she was chatting up some bartender on the side a few months after our divorce. Apparently, loyalty wasn't her strong suit. Who would have thought? Karma didn't need my help. She was already eating herself alive. But I didn't smile when I found out. I didn't care. I had spent too much of my life burning my own peace trying to make sense of her chaos. Never again. I got my final bit of revenge by living well. I traveled. Went hiking in Oregon. Took a spontaneous trip to Nashville with a couple of old college buddies. I picked up guitar again. Something I'd abandoned during my marriage because it took too much time away from us. What a joke that turned out to be. And then there was Angela. It didn't happen overnight. We didn't rush into anything. But we grew close in ways that surprised both of us. We talked about our scars without pretending they didn't exist. We had dinners that turned into deep conversations. We shared silence that wasn't awkward, just understood. And one night, as we sat on my porch sipping wine and watching the rain, she looked at me and said, "You know, you're not broken." I smiled. Took me a while to figure that out. She touched my hand gently. "You're more than what she did to you." That stuck with me. Not because I needed someone to tell me, but because someone finally saw it. Megan saw me as useful. Angela saw me as whole. Eventually, we started dating. Slowly, carefully. And for the first time in years, I wasn't worried about someone lying to my face while planning their next little motel adventure behind my back. I'd built something solid not just with her, but with myself. And here's what I learned. If you're reading this and you've been betrayed, hurt, lied to, understand something important. It's not your fault they couldn't love you right. It's not your burden to carry the weight of someone else's filth just because you were clean. Sometimes the people closest to us are the ones holding the knife. And when they stab you, they'll swear they were just reaching for a hug. Don't fall for it. You owe yourself the truth even when it hurts. Especially when it hurts. My advice? Don't waste your time begging someone to be loyal. Don't drown in questions they'll never answer honestly. Instead, pull yourself up. Step out of their lies like shedding old skin. Reclaim your life one painful, powerful day at a time. Megan thought she shattered me. But in the end, she freed me. I don't look back anymore. I don't stalk her socials or check in to see what she's doing. That chapter's closed. Locked. Buried under the weight of every lie she ever told. This is my life now. And damn, it feels good to finally breathe.